in the main salon of tall ship Lynx. Good morning, Lynx, at 7:55 a.m. on Friday, May 16th, second half of May. And the weather is gray, about the same as it was yesterday, but it's not pouring rain. And the flags are going up. Hallie's taking care of that. I'm going to come over and look at Newport Harbor, where the water is glassy. Very little pressure gradient here. And we've had so many different kinds of weather. In the last 24 hours, we did see a little bit of the sun, but yesterday morning, boy, that rainfall, let's just start with that, off the charts, beyond anybody's wildest imagination. And the most rain in all of New England in the last 2 days was right here in Newport and Bristol, Rhode Island, with 2 to 3+ inches in Bristol. It's so funny because that's where we're going. Today, we're going to Bristol. We've got 40 people coming aboard, and we're going to Bristol. So we got all that rain out of our system, right? Parts of Cape Cod picked up 0 rain, close to a ½ inch of rain near Boston. Southern New Hampshire also came in with some good downpours yesterday and some thunder. So yeah, the weather is in its own world right now. It's just doing whatever it wants. And this morning, it's pretty quiet in most of New England. Here's the regional temperature roundup from about 7 a.m. 64 degrees in Boston. So it's a mild and muggy morning with dew points also in the 60s. And we're already 70 near Burlington, Vermont. So I always talk about how when you see the Champlain Valley that warm to start the day, that means it's a warm day in New England, especially where the sun comes out. And it looks like we're going to get some sunshine. We paid our dues yesterday, right? It's such a challenging forecast. I looked at the radar yesterday. I was looking at New England, but then I widened it out, and this is what it looked like late in the day. Look at that spiral storm right over South Dakota. It was still snowing in the high country west of that system, and then an arc of heavy rain and thunderstorms right through Michigan, and then a separate batch with a different storm off to the south of that in the lower Mississippi Valley. So all that energy is translating from west to east, and we are east, and we're going to get some of that weather. What about the rain this morning? Not much in New England, but the day dawned with some severe weather left over from Michigan and western New York. So that is a warm front that's coming at us, and we are going to end up with showers, and where they occur today, they're going to be quite heavy. It's such a challenge to try and place and time them. Almost impossible. It is impossible, actually. And I'll show you a couple of the forecast maps from the Weather Prediction Center. These are, you just put in WPC forecasts and you come to this web page. And so that is a warm front that's coming at us. And we are going to end up with showers, and where they occur today, they're going to be quite heavy. It's such a challenge to try and place and time them. Almost impossible. It is impossible, actually. The triple point low over Albany, the heaviest weather, triple point low, that's where the occluded old low over western New York and the Great Lakes, occluded front, warm air catches up the cold air, and a new low forms at the triple point where we have the purple line, the occluded front, meeting the red line, the warm front, meeting the blue line, the cold front, and usually these are unpredictable. And usually the action is more to the east and north of the triple point low. And then by Sunday, it's offshore, and we have a couple of cold fronts coming at us, which pretty much guarantee at least a chance of showers again on Sunday. So we haven't had a dry weekend since the middle of February. Instead of trying to show exactly where the showers are going to occur and when they're going to occur, I think I'm going to just show the HRRR. We're not fond of the NAM anymore. QPF, that is where it's raining and how much rain when. It only shows you sort of the advance of the rain. So here it goes from this morning, the showers coming out of New York. About 1 o'clock this afternoon, you have showers sprouting in New Hampshire and Maine, and those leftover storms coming out of New York. And then they intensify, and most of them are moving across central and northern New England overnight tonight. There's the QPF. When you see the light gray, that's a trace of rain. Oh, who's firing cannons at us? We're not the only ones that fire. Ours are actually called carronades. And someone just fired a morning salute. And flags are going up. A lot of flags. You get all the flags this morning, huh? Where's your help? There's the Lynx flag, which we'll see more and in more. All right, pick it up with that QPF. I'm sorry, I didn't finish that. Once you go from grays to blue, that's a ½ inch. Then you go from blue to purple, that's an inch. And then when you go from purple to red, now you're going to 2 inches. And you see some of those in the higher elevations, especially west and north in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, especially near Mount Washington, where you see some yellow on there. And yellow is actually 4 inches of water. So yeah, some of us are going to get another 2 to 4 inches of water between now, and this is a 48-hour product, so it goes out to 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, out to tomorrow night. So that is the high-resolution, close look at New England. But what you really got to do is look at it from a wide lens to see the big picture and what's going on. And that features that storm out in the northern plains and more weather in the south. What am I hearing now? Music. I hear music right above Captain's quarters here, so can't not make too much noise. I always make too much noise. State of New Hampshire. Captain is from New Hampshire. Live free or die. We're having a battle, a reenactment of the Brits versus the Revolutionary Guard of Rhode Island tomorrow morning. But sorry, I got sidetracked again. Here's the GFS, and we'll show the initialization at 2 a.m. There was a 979 millibar low on the border with North Dakota and Minnesota. That is 28.9 inches on the barometer. That is a powerful storm. Wind advisories in effect on the backside of that, where there was still a little bit of snow falling in the high country of Montana and North Dakota. But when that low goes to your north, you end up with a warm front, and we're going to have several warm fronts again coming in today and tomorrow before the cold fronts start coming in. So here it is in motion. And there's our initial warm front coming through tonight in New England. And rain lets up tomorrow. Rain lets up a little bit tonight. And then tomorrow morning they refire. Showers are refiring over to the west. So there may be a little gap between rains. And the GFS shows an optimistic, mostly dry southern New England with just a shower in the morning and then a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, while we have quite a few downpours across northern New England and the threat for thunderstorms. And then on Sunday, the cold air advection commences. We have a new low cutting off from Ontario into New York and New England. And we have showers, especially in northern New England, very unstable on Sunday as the temperature moves from the 70s to the 60s over the next 48 hours. And the dew points are going to start crashing. Very cold air aloft. Now, what happened to that possible snow for us on Monday and Tuesday? The GFS had that blue. Well, it's north of New England. We still have a lot of isobars. We still have a lot of wind, and we still have a lot of clouds and some spot showers, more like April showers than May showers with that chill on Monday into Tuesday. Note the blue is the snow up north of us from Quebec backing into Ontario. So there's going to be rain and snow north of us backing westward. At the same time, a new storm is coming across the country, and that's going to be on the shore south of us on Wednesday. Oh my goodness, look at this wall of water coming in on Wednesday with a wind from the east and the northeast, a heavy 2 or 3 day nor'easter for next Wednesday and Thursday into Friday is what the GFS is proposing for our 6 to 8 day forecast, with, I would say, moderate confidence for this one because it's been fairly consistent in the last few runs. And then on Thursday afternoon, there's the blue showing up in the higher elevations. Rain and snow possible in New England, especially Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine. Late Thursday into Friday, the snow level will probably be above 3,000 feet as the thickness is around 546. And then that low finally moves offshore next Friday night and Saturday. And what is this? Is that going to be a nice Saturday? Well, it shows high pressure getting to our south, but the thicknesses are 546 to 552, so that's very cold air mass, and it's very unstable, so it can be in the 60s, but then all of a sudden you can get a downpour with some grapple or some sleet or something like that next Saturday, And then on Sunday, now this is day 10. That's as far as we go. We don't want to blow the forecast beyond day 10, but it does get us into 2 weekends next Sunday, May 25th. And it shows another low over New Jersey with the wind trying to come in. Even though there's a high to our south, there's another high that doesn't show up there with a blue H to our north and right over Maine, actually. And that low, it's not that strong, but it's a cold one with a cold rain on our doorstep again next Sunday. And that would be into Monday. So it looks like a pretty chilly pattern setting up for the most part after tomorrow, right in through next weekend. And there's still the possibility of some snow, but that possibility keeps on moving around. I guess the main takeaway is it's going to be cold and fairly wet. And whether we have rain for our reenactment tomorrow in Bristol, I would lean toward no, we're not going to be raining. I know the captain and crew are listening right now. And the big question is, can we get rid of the fog? So we have a special live edition of the Lynx. And we don't know why that is called a pig stick, but that's the name of it. It's an old sailing term. And it's a challenge. And you probably didn't want this to be on. Is this your first raising?
Oh, no.
Of the pig stick one?
It might look like it.
I mean, I know I saw you guys practicing yesterday, so it's always training. And I remember what Jeremy said about guiding up that line right there. But you have your method, and it looks like it's working out fine to me. And so this Lynx flag, Captain, how long is this Lynx flag? It looks like it's about 30 feet long. So it goes up to the top of the mast, which is pretty close to 100 feet up. So you can see this flag in the wind from all around the shore here in Newport and the hills. I was up on Memorial Boulevard yesterday, and I looked down, and a car was coming at me, but I saw the flag briefly, and the fog yesterday was coming and going. It was really a radical day with those downpours. Can't believe how much rain we actually got. All right, so then more yesterday, walking through Newport, and a little bit from the crew, a little bit from Newport and history, and I have probably 30 minutes of content that I'm going to try and get down to about 10 minutes, including the fog coming and going. And I went up to the Vanderbilt rooftop. Can't quite see it. It's just to the west of the Trinity Church over there. So much history around here. And we're going to reenact some history tomorrow. A reenactment in Bristol, Rhode Island. If you're around, come visit. Here's the and more from yesterday. Oh yeah, beautiful day. Midday. The fog just won't give way. I just saw a head sticking out of the bow over here. It's a whole person. Rigging dockline 1. That means we're going to shore finally after all these days of sea. Oh wait, it's only been 1 day for me. The problem is when you get 100% relative humidity, there's no way to dry stuff out. So I'm just not basically in a bathing suit and a shirt. Beautiful day, another beautiful day. Thanks for breakfast.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Okay.
We did have a hot breakfast.
All right.
And coffee.
Yeah, as long as my wife doesn't see it because she doesn't like the beer.
Aye. What's her phone number? All fixed. 2 of them. Nice job, Haley. They were flat. They fixed the flats. All aboard, aye. Making a move. Detached from the mooring. I think the sun's out about 300 feet over our head.
Alex said a name. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Nothing like a southeast wind with a high dew point and cold water. And we're going to secure to a dock for a short time today. which I think is right over there. Like just a couple of hundred, maybe 400 yards actually. I think we're about to pull a 180, come about. Troy's just here to push.
Hold push. Send one when in range. Thank you. Who's on? Who's on? Slack out 2 as it comes. Freeze on. Freeze on. All right, slack out at 3. Slack out at 3. Hold push. Please staying out. Okay, it's hold 3. Hold 1. Hold 2.
All right, we can just come and go off the ship for an hour or two while we stock up on provisions.
And then put a white one on the truck.
That
Several feet short
is
of
what
the truck.
Saint Twine does.
Follow on the back.
What about the Bruins themselves? How are they doing?
You know, we don't like to talk about that right now, TK.
So this one's coming down
Next year. Next year.
next year.
There's always next year. We're gonna get that Stanley Cup. I believe in the Boston Bruins.
99% of this is setting yourself.
There, Troy.
This is a sail needle. This was gifted to me by Bridget McCutcheon. That's right, folks. Bridget McCutcheon is a world record holder for Guinness World Records to be the youngest person that ever circumnavigated the world on a motorcycle. And I use this thing to try and poke holes in the gaff jaw leathers on the AJ.
This is a half-hour show.
Oh,
We're
wow.
gonna need a translation. What are you gonna do with that needle today? What do you want to do with that?
I was just using it to pull it, to put that through
What?
a hole.
Can you show me?
No, I've already done it. I'm
Oh.
not doing it again.
What is this thing called?
This is called the pig stick.
What is up with that name?
It's our 4-pig stick. It's an old sailor term. Nobody really knows what it means.
So many fun shops. Didn't make videos of, but how can I not? TSK, 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 TSK. I am TSK, TSK, TSK. My middle name is Scott. Admiral Fitzroy. Admiral Fitzroy came up with the first barometer. The Fitzroy glass. I don't know if it was the first one, but it worked on the ships. Thames Street is one way towards the south. Spring Street is one way toward the north. And it's a bottleneck already. Just moved just now. St. Mary's. Don't mind if I do. Get a closer look. Beautiful. Founded April 8th, 1828. The oldest parish in the Diocese of Providence. Present structure begun August 7th, 1848. President John F. Kennedy and Jacqueline Lee Bouvier were married here on September 12th, 1953. Well, well, well. Pays to go out the door. Wonder if I can go in that door. And if I bravely stand in the middle of Memorial Boulevard West, there's Lynx in a car coming right at me. I think we have more churches than we have people going to church, so now Lafarge Arts Center. Well, we are definitely looking back in time here. Gorgeous colonial. 1751. John Bannister House. And so on and so on and so on. Captain Brewer? Is that what that says? Lots of captains. Jonathan Gibbs, 1771. Founders of the United States of America, no doubt. We're here. Samuel Bohr's house. Noise, noise, noise. Iris, just about to bloom. Here at the Alexander Jack Jr. house, 1811. What's that? Someone pumping out their cellar or something? Something. Bluebells, purple bells, something like that. How do you make those slate shingles stay in place? Pretty good glue back then. What's the trick? You see all the wires and everything up there? That's how we used to communicate. Telegraph, telephone. Now we just send our signals through the air. So, still get electricity though and internet through those wires. Someday we're gonna have wireless everything. Somehow, some way. North side of Trinity Church. Graves. 1800. Can't really read them. We're certainly going back in time here though, aren't we? Elizabeth Breese. There are the bones of an old building. Doubt the steel was in there though. Wisteria. It could be more than a century old, theoretically. John Preston Mann House. I'd like to paint this one. Yeah, thanks, no thanks. But you guys are doing a good job. It's all about the prep. The Outlook Inn. Bet you can see the Lynx from up there. Unknown flower. I did not take Latin. I'll give it a try though. Et decorum est pro patria mori. Devolci. It's a World War I monument before World War II was even fought. Tribute to those men of Newport who gave their lives during the World War VII, 1917, 1918. This monument is erected and their names inscribed thereon by their comrades of Newport, Post Number 7, American Legion, November 11, 1923. They have left as priceless heritage a token that honor lives forever with the dead. And there are all the names. War. What was it good for? Absolutely nothing. Oh yeah, did I mention the sun's out and it's getting really warm? Hard to dress. World War II. And so on and so on. City Hall, Newport, Rhode Island. Where's that Rex Liquors? It's kind of funny. You know where I get the weather models, right? Off of Pivotal Brewing Company. Looks sparse, but right next to it, there's T-Rex Liquors. Ha! Oh, wow. A few of my favorite things. Rex, Pivotal, and brewing beer. And I think I've come full circle. Bowen's Wharf, established by Benedict Arnold in 1652. We're going back in time. I'm a bet for a mast. And there's the sun. And here on Bowen's Wharf, there's a oyster and chowder festival. Rain or shine here. Saturday and Sunday, if you're not in Bristol. Or you can do both. Go to Bristol and then come to the Oyster and Chowder Fest under the big top. The sun came out there for a while. It got kind of hot, but the air is still coming from the southeast now. Sun gets lower. Temperature and dew point come back together. The fog redevelops. How much rain? We don't know. I'm just calling the play-by-play on the rain. All right, 4:45, we're shoving off, and fickle fog, fickle. 1 minute you can see blue sky, next minute it's like a quarter mile or less, a couple hundred yards. Variable fog conditions. All right, I'd like to be a weather watcher here for WPRI. My name is Tim Kelly. I'm in Narragansett Bay here in Newport. We just shoved off the yachting center dock with some blue sky in the background, but we get some fickle fog out here in the harbor. So look at those masts just fading in the fog. And pea soup right there. There's a batch of it. Visibility only, I don't know, a couple hundred feet out there. And the disk of the sun is visible. And we're racing this little dinghy out to beep, 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 beep. $5:15. It's probably just foggy and cloudy. The bottom couple hundred feet of the atmosphere. Above that, you can probably see blue sky and the big rainstorms that are crossing Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Vermont. So yeah, we're just off the dock here in Newport, Rhode Island. America's Cup sailboats. Can you not see we're on TV right now, pirates?
That's our shipwright right there.
It's your what?
Our shipwright's brother-in-law. That's his boat.
Our shipwright?
That boat's just got here.
That's Troy talking. Troy, what's shipwright mean?
A shipwright is someone who works on boats. Hey, tell Tony we say hello.
Oh.
Hey, again. You ought to come to this industry.
He says, I should give up being a weatherman because I can't tell the difference between blue sky and fog.
It's all just air, right? At the end of the day.
It's all just air. Funny.
Oh, Wayne.
There's blue sky high above the mast.
There's a little bit. It's peeking out. Right above Lynx. No one else sees it, just us. You know why, TK? Because we're tripping balls out here, man.
What's going on up there? A one-man dance party? Troy's dancing up front in his own world. So, you know, you're off the clock, so then what are you going to do? Meet the crew. Hey, what's your name? Where you from?
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm from a cornfield in Illinois.
Neat.
This is where I started out.
And so, in your downtime, what are you making there?
I am working on a sweater. I've been working on it for the last couple weeks.
That's just a couple weeks?
This is just a couple weeks.
Wow.
This is where
Pisces. Fishes.
Halibut.
Halibut.
My halibut sweater.
Mmm.
Pre-transit?
I started
Pre-transit was like
Yeah.
no fish heads.
Uh-huh.
By the end of transit, it was like pretty close to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And then yesterday was like all of this. Like
busy day yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. I had a lot of downtime yesterday.
So that's it just comes out of the bag there?
Yeah, this is my ball.
How do you know like what to do next? Where's the pattern or the...
Well, the pattern's on my phone that's broken.
Oh, okay. So it's in your mind?
At this point, I'm just kind of, I mean, this was the hard part. So all of this is just up here
cool.
at this point.
And is that going to be for you?
For me.
That's nice.
For me, I'm not putting in 80 hours of work for just anybody.
It's beautiful.
It's all me.
Can I feel it?
Oh, absolutely. It's 100% wool.
Oh, wow.
It's so soft.
Yeah, so if you can ever dry out and put that on the evening, make you feel a lot better.
Absolutely.
It's hard to keep dry around here.
It's hard to keep dry around here. Yeah.
For some reason, there's always a maritime layer when you're a mariner.
Go grab my computer or to two-step verify.
Well, the bows are pointed toward the south, so the air's from the south. But somehow we managed to dry it out enough for a little blue sky and also dense fog. Weather is hard and utterly captivating. This is so fun. And when you're on a pirate ship, everyone's gonna look over, and we are a head turner. Just wave. Appreciate the beauty and the history. Past. Present. And the future. Those are the race horns, right? They must have won the race. They're already going back to port. We transit to Bristol tomorrow, which is now today. Whether or not, rains or fogs, the show must go on. That was Weymouth. Here's Cape Cod. Thursday best.
Oh, we've changed it up to lavender. Almost. It's blue. It's bluish. It's blue. There you go. Oh, wow.
Take care. Are you coming ashore on this run, or are you
I
gonna
am.
eat pizza on board and then go ashore?
Nope.